There we go. What's going on? Haven't done this in a while. Awkward, weird, cool, kinda, sorta. What's up? How's everybody doing? Hopefully everybody's having a good day. Let me pull the chat back up so I don't miss anything. Jack, what's up, man? Brad, what's going on? David, yeah, it's not going to be an everyday occurrence kind of thing, Brad. I don't know. I just kind of woke up today and said, let's do the old live thing today. I'll me some bacon. Got some balls. Good to go. It's not a scarf, man. I heard Donald got the Rona, so I'm trying to make sure I don't get the Rona. No Rona here. I honestly forgot I had it on. Just made me think of those commercials. No? Okay. Make sure I don't forget that. Usually it's sitting in the car. Hopefully get some good stuff today. Probably not though, because the spy's taking a dump because of the president, El Presidente. Couple more pieces of bacon here and ready to go. Anybody have any plans for the weekend? I forgot I wanted to change the title. There we go, Brian, just for you. What do we got? We got about 1 minute here. Do your little pre-market thingies. I don't know. I don't do anything, but I know a lot of people out there like to have like a little routine. My routine is just to make sure I'm sitting down and have everything ready. Actually, you know what? Let me make sure that all my charts are working real quick. See. All right, cool. Good to go. In about 15 seconds here. I saw Zoom was doing something. I guess everybody freaking out about the Rona again here. If the president can get it. Some of the claims, people thinking he's just gonna die. I mean, he could. Never know. There's the bell. Good luck, everybody. You'll see something a little different too, especially with OBS. You'll see me going, I have 6 charts. So as I see something on the scanners, you'll see me going back and forth. Like, see, I still have zoom up. Damn, look at this thing go. Whoo-wee. Wow. Might have to start this with a frickin' 1 share. What is what's the daily look like on this thing? You see that thing squeeze? This thing has some room. I immediately, when it started doing that, said over 500, I'm in. But it looks like it didn't quite get there. I mean, look at the spread on a $2. It was almost $3 spread. Probably gonna leave that alone. That thing squeezed. Not seeing anything else just yet. Codex coming off the bottom. Let's see, Brian's in a couple here. This is a hangover play, BBBY. Let's see if we can get a squeeze up to 20 here. Be interesting. Zoom is trying to go back up to the highs. What's the SPY doing? Just trying to bounce. JKS. Kind of sort of doing the same thing. Same thing with TCS. You can see those are all hangover plays. I was watching BBBY. Would have been interested if it would have got up there around 20. It was a pretty big move off the bottom. Not too much else going on here. See, Omi up there again. It's on SSR. I remember looking at this one a little earlier. See if it wants to give it to us up here, 25.45. Go ahead, give us that little push. Some pretty good resistance there at 50. It's on SSR, almost there, 43. No, 44. Give us that 1 cent. Can't just hit, there we go. All right, so we got our fill. Yep, look, everybody else is on it with me here. So 45 we would need, for the quick flush, we would need 24.95. Look at him, it's got all kind of room here. This thing's really extended. So next ad we'd probably go for, let's see where our stop max, up there, okay. So might have went a little heavy on the share size here, to be honest. It doesn't put our max loss that far away. Oh, coming back down. If it wants to flush right to here, we'll go ahead and just take it. Might take a sec for it to kind of work down. What's DPW doing? Coming down, see if we can get that 25 test. Not looking for too much here, right? Just looking, I mean, honestly looking for way less than half the move here. Let's move this down a little bit. We can always take it off manually if we have to. But if we get down through 25, this is a pretty quick move though. Maybe we'll take half at that area. Just need to get down through 25 here first. Let me find my stop. Definitely not going to be stopping out up there now. So you can get that flush down through 25 here. Come on. Testing. Nope, not yet. See JHG up there on the scanner. There we go. See if we can get our first fill here at 95. There we go. Got the first fill. Let's check out JHG. Looks a little whippy. Coming down to our second possible fill here on OMI, down there at 76. Yeah, I'm watching JHG. I think that might be a miss there. Plus watching how it's kind of whippy where it's at. Back through 25 here on OMI. Definitely not going to let this go back against us. I'm going to put the stop there at break even. You might want to give it room through 50, but we'll see what it does here at 25. There we go, back through 25. There goes SPY again. I'll leave JHG up here just to keep an eye on it. What did I do? I do still have shares on it. OMI coming down, see if we can get the push down towards 2450. NKLA doing something crazy. What's that thing doing? That's coming off the bottom as well. Here we go. Need a little bit more on OMI here. 81. See if we can get the breakdown through 80. It'll give us 76. That's what we're looking for. I think back through 25 and hold. We're going to go ahead and just take it off. But hopefully we can get the breakdown towards 2450. Obviously, that's what we're looking for. Watching NKLA on my other chart here. Just give us that quick pop down, 2450. Mr. OMI. At least give us our next fill, right? That's what we want. We'll be out 75% of our position here. There we go. We were down through 80 for a split second there. 77. One away. Not going to give us that extra penny. There it is. All right, so 55 is our last order. Just looking for that 50 test. The nice thing about having the orders out like this is if for some reason it does all flush at once, like we've seen in the past, you could get all your orders filled at once, which is nice. So that's kind of the idea behind that. I got down to 64 there. So definitely not looking to let this go back through 25 at this point. I mean, it can try to use 25 as resistance, but we'll give it a little bit of leeway, but we're going to pull this down. We'll go with 29 for now. So these will definitely not get past our break-even point, but we're going to try to let them work for us. In fact, let's go ahead and put a trail on these. Or we'll just keep the stop in for now, and we'll see what it does. See if we can get down there towards VWAP. See if we can let these kind of work for us a little bit. Especially because it's kind of consolidating here. But oh, here comes the squeeze back up through 25. I don't necessarily like that it was a squeeze. I was about to move back up towards break even there just to give it a little more room. Because a squeeze can just kind of take you out, but again, we know stronger the move, the weaker the trend. I'm actually going to move it up a little bit just to give it a little bit more room to work itself out. Kind of like sloppy seconds ordeal. I don't want to get caught at the top of the sloppy seconds. There we go, back down through 25. They could have just been trying to eat some liquidity there on the other side of 25. People thinking it's going to go back up. Did I miss NKLA? Yeah, I did. I didn't really miss it. I didn't ever really like it that much, to be honest. I wanted that thing to really go. This JHG, I'm not really interested. Looks kind of, look at all these green candles, and it's basically kind of going sideways. Some chop there. Up here on OMI, the plan is really to see if we can get down through 24.50 now. But if it does get up through that spike here, 25.14, I don't really think we'd be interested anymore, right? It's starting to curl. But we'll still give it that little bit of room. It's just leftovers, so either we don't give that much back, right? We're still in the green on those. Our average is at 45, or we could really try to get it to work for us. Maybe get down here 24, maybe even come down and test that previous resistance all the way down here, 23.28. There goes JHG trying to pop a little bit here. Let's take a look at the daily. I was never really interested. We're right at a key area here. It looks like it might be trying to bounce right off of that. OMI down there to 65 again. We'll see what it does at 50 as well. Remember, we were happy originally at 55 or 54, whatever it was. I think I want to say it was 55. Yeah. So if it tries to go down through 50 and fails, like it tries to start bouncing, definitely take it off and be happy with it. JHG, that was the highest volume bar so far. It's always a good sign. Didn't really catch the wiggle or jiggle up top there. It was kind of just shot straight up and then came straight back down towards 25.50. Never really gave you an opportunity to kind of read the top there. Nice move here on OMI. Got down through 50. See if we can't come down and try to touch VWAP. I'm going to go ahead and put an order out just to front run it a little bit if it wants to give it to us. I'm totally expecting a bounce off of VWAP. Well, it actually did reclaim 50 there. Could just take it here and be happy with it. But I want to see if it comes back down through 50. It did for a split second there, but went right back through. Bid's coming up with it now. Nice, back down through. Fighting back and forth a little bit here. There we go. Ass came down. Nice. See if we can get that push down towards VWAP. Nice, 39. Just looking for one more little flush. I think back up through 50, we're going to be done with it. the bid comes up to 50, we're going to be out. There it comes. Which way you gonna go? All right, ask came down. Just looking for that quick little flush down there to VWAP, and we're golden. The reason I didn't want to, oh, 1 second. I didn't want to pull the stop down because the ask could come through and stop us out over 50 before the bid ever comes up through. I don't think you guys could hear that, but Devin and Thomas were talking in the Discord. Oh, I think here we go. I think I saw it say 50 for a second there, but we'll give it a sec. Right back down below. It's fighting here. Just trying to get back through. Pretty slow now. Not a lot of volume. Just looking for that quick push down. Just give us that little bounce off of VWAP. That's all we're looking for. Trying to be patient. These are the trades I was talking about. If you guys have been following along in my videos, there it is, 33. See if we can get down to 25. Is that, yes, I want 1/3 of quota, which my quota happens to be my max loss on any given trade right now, which is 30. So if I can get 1/3 of that on each trade, there it is, I'm on the bid. We're on the bid again. Just going to take it there, guys. Really no reason to fight over a couple cents there. So nice trade here on OMI. So if I can get 1/3 on each trade that I take, that means it's only going to take me 3 winning trades to make up any max loss. Now keep in mind, I'm not going to hit max loss every single loser, right? Some are going to be not even half of the max loss, just because I get in towards the top, like on OMI here. Say it consolidates sideways and then goes high of day. My max loss is all the way up through like close to 27. So I would have been nowhere near max loss. So, it would only take maybe half or even one trade to make that back. But you have trades like OMI here, where if we can let it work for us a little bit, we almost made half of our max loss in one trade, half of our Q. So that means it would only take 2 of these trades to make Q as well as get close to our max loss. So we would only have to win 2 out of every 3 trades just to break even. So if you're actually winning like 8 out of every 10 trades, you can see how that adds up. So that's the idea. So we would have got filled there if we were just a little bit more patient, but VWAP was right there and it started to feel like it was bouncing. So not going to be too upset just taking that tad early. Took it 6 cents early compared to the overall move. Can't complain about that. Brian's saying FSLY. Let's take a look. Yeah, let me take a... Looks like we already missed the top here on FSLY. That was a nice one for him. What is JKS doing? I took that down to put up SPI for some stupid reason. I feel like everything we're pulling up just a little too late. They're not quite alerting on the scanners either, so I'm not hearing it in my ear. So that could be the other thing. They're getting real close, but not quite. Excuse me. I just realized that I did that without even really thinking about it, without telling you guys. I'm so used to doing it without being live now. But as you say, just to talk through it, when I see something that I'm interested in, but I'm not ready for any kind of an entry yet, but I could be, that's when I'll click over to the daily. And as you can see, if you're looking at it just like this, you don't really see much. But then, you zoom out a little bit, and there's a pretty nice little gap fill here. Oh, it looks like I missed it. Right there. But we are at a fairly key level here that it just went through, right? This little support area over here. Let's go back one more. That's not letting me. There we go. So yeah, looks like it was used as support twice right around this area, 250. But it's just something I do. And as you can see, this support over here was used a few times, as well as the resistance on this huge gap down day. So that $3 area would be pretty key. But it looks like we might not get there anyway. Then you also have kind of intraday resistance and support and resistance, which it didn't really use that too much. But if this shot straight up the 3 from here, I'd probably be a little interested. $13 of you watching, only 2 likes. Come on. I get it, guys. You guys are busy. You should be. It's okay. I understand. I'm not going to take it to heart. The scanners kind of died off on us there a little bit. I feel like today it was a little bit more on the risky type plays where nothing really felt too fast. There was a couple pops, but you had to be really quick with them, like JHG here. What was the other one? FSLY that just happened. That one happened pretty fast as well. Nice move here on FSLY. Look at that. Nice key resistance area right there at the $100 area. Went right through all the way up to 102. That would have been a nice one. That would have definitely been a $1 one. We definitely would have got it. That would have been a really good trade. But when we pulled it up, it was already back down at 101. So that's where we would have been looking to take profit. So we can't really, it'd be chasing it at that point. CTIC attempting here. What was the float here? 66 mil. Okay. What's the SPY? SPY is kind of just consolidating in its gap fill. I would only assume that that will complete the gap fill today. I don't really see why it wouldn't. It gapped down literally on the president getting the Rona, so I don't really understand why. That is not justification for the market to gap down like it did. See if we can get a spike all the way up to 3 here. That's what we're looking for. If we did, let's kind of play it out in our head. If we got a spike up here to 3 from 270, we'd be looking for about 15 cents. So we could probably use the 10-cent button here. Be a little more aggressive. Who we got joining us? Craig Munded. Thanks for the sub, man. I appreciate that. Always appreciate the support. Love went fast and then died. Took what you gave me. Let me take a look at Love while we wait for FSLY is actually moving back up. Let's use this chart down here. Oh yeah, pure SPY play. Looks identical to the SPY. JKS looks like seconds. Yeah, JKS went really fast. There was really not much I could do about it. FSLY back down. See what TWLO. What's this doing? Let me throw JKS up there just to have it, because it is at high of day. CTIC kind of failing on us here. Was really looking for that push up there through 290. If we scroll in and kind of take a look at the candles, I've been watching the price action so you can see, look, see up, down, up, down, up, down. It's what you would call a grinder. See how linear the EMAs look compared to the candles? This is exactly what you don't want. If we go over to AMI real quick, see how you have a big extension away from the EMAs? That's what we're looking for, right? Fast, the fast move, that's what we're looking for. There we go. Now this is what we're looking for. We're looking for the squeeze. See how it's starting to extend itself? But in order to get where we want it, it's probably up there around $3. Also, by the way, if you are new here and you don't know about the Friday night live stream, I will be here tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern. So be sure to stop by and check us out. Just do a live stream. That's a move we would have been looking for, but closer to 3. But as you can see how it started to squeeze? It tried to. Faster the move, the weaker the trend. That's why you get that big move back down like that, instead of that grind that it was in. IDK. Let's use this chart. I think he got it wrong. IDT, okay. I didn't even see that. Oh, it was on the scanner. It's 21 mil, so it should have popped up. I might have just missed it. Might have been quick. It does appear to be on earnings. So we're starting to get some action here. NKLA is gone. TTD. So Brian actually did a little modification to the scanners to give us the higher priced ones as well, and they are starting to alert, and they're looking pretty good. I personally am not sure if I'm interested in some of them though, just because of liquidity type issues. You start trying to take, if the range versus the price is not that great, it's going to be hard to get enough shares, even the amount of shares I'm taking with the liquidity that I have. That's why you see companies like Tesla and Apple and all them, you'll see them do reverse splits, or splits I should say, not reverse split. You'll see them do a split because the price gets too high. If the price is too high, then people like me and Robinhooders, you can't trade them. So that's why companies will do splits, so that you can get the price down so that people can actively trade them again. Because I mean, Tesla was getting to a point where it wasn't getting traded as much because no one could afford to trade it. CTIC, still watching it. It did try to move here. But again, at this point, if we scroll in, it's still pretty linear, right? It had that whippy candle when it tried, but it's still pretty linear. I'll say in a second, you're probably going to see that line that I drew. Where did I draw it? 303. I mean, granted, that's probably not perfect. I'm sure it's just the whole dollar that's being used there. But you can see the EMA is kind of climbing with it. That's why I put these on there, just kind of for reference. Here we go. We can shoot right up to 3. I'm pretty interested here. Keep going. I'll show you how interested I am. Put the order out there right through the 3 pop. We'd kind of be looking for 20 cents though, so I might want to chill on the share size there, just in case it does keep going. Has to be on this move though. I want to see it get up there, go through, all in the same candle. It's struggling right here though. Anything below around like 284, 283, definitely I'm going to be canceling the order. I want to see it push all at once. But any kind of a pullback here, then I'm not interested. Because that's what it's been doing, right? That's what we've been sitting here watching it do. Still waiting, still being patient. I see Brian just started it. We're going to be a little bit more patient with it. Does that mean we miss it? Maybe. But this is our plan, right? This is what we want out of an entry. Not going to FOMO into it. Here we go. It wants to touch that $3. We're going to split this. Give it a sec here. Come on, give us that push. It's holding up there. I think we're going to get it. I'm going to leave it. Actually, I think we'll get up a little higher if we go through. Move it up there to 304. Which would then give us 384. Let's see what David's looking at here. LAC. Yeah, not too bad. What's the daily look like on this? It's at all-time highs. Just got there too. Kind of give that a sec. Getting a little pullback here, CTIC. To be completely honest, I might just not take this trade at all at this point. It's still feeling kind of grindy. And that really does look kind of like a top here. And on top of that, I don't know. Not a huge fan of it at this point. Very grindy. Give it one last little chance here. LAC actually getting pretty interested here. What's the float on this? 55. Just looking for it to go through 1350 here. Good point, Brian. Does your S just disappear, Brian? Or do you get like a pop, like do you try to hit short and it just says can't short? I haven't run into that issue yet, so I just see the S. I'm so used to being able to, I mean, this is what's popping up just so you guys can see it. So you can only use 50% margin on this, but it does say there's 8,000 shares. I'm going to take my order off here at CTIC. It's just kind of grindy. I mean, it's consolidating here. If it wants to go up through, well, we'll obviously keep the chart up because there's that huge gap fill. So we'll see what it does. This thing is squeezing. Still says 8,000. We only want 20 of them. Where did this thing go? Oh, yep, see, it didn't let me. Okay, well, now I know. Contract is not available for short sale. All right, well, we tried to get in. Does it tell me the price? It didn't even tell me. I had it at 1337, but I'm pretty sure it was 62 is where we hit it. All right, well, that kind of sucks. I feel like this is a great opportunity. I mean, this is what we look for, right? Look at, now if we scroll in on this one, look at this, right? See how this is linear, and then bam, that's fast. That's what we're looking for, the fast move, and it's still trying to go. So these are the moves that you want. So we'd be looking for an add through 14 here. Didn't quite give it to us. 62 take profit would have been at 12, or no, at 02. 62, no, yeah, 12. Can't do math. We definitely would have missed the ad there, unfortunately. Happened pretty fast, and we would have been looking for through 14. Or do you want me to be one of them hindsight YouTubers? Oh, we would have got the ad up there. Average would be up there at 1385, and we'd be banking right now. No? Okay. I mean, we'd still be green right here. I went over to look at my unrealized just out of curiosity and keep forgetting we didn't get the trade. It's unfortunate. So CTIC never really did what we wanted. This thing is just kind of consolidating up there. It definitely feels like it wants 3 at least. I mean, look at that. The 9's already up there at the current price. Just kind of consolidating up here in this area. Let's see, do we have anything else here? Go back through the scanners here. This TTD still going? What is TTD? The Trade Desk. What kind of a company is called the Trade Desk? That's interesting. It just sounds fishy. LAC trying to go lower. I'm not gonna lie, I'd feel like I'd be in a pretty awkward situation with the average of 62 here. I'm probably just taking this off if it gets through 50 and holds. Probably taking it off break even, worst case. Because you're not really in a good spot. I mean, half the move, like if you really want to kind of draw it out real quick. It says a great here. I mean, half the move, it's already there. So it'd be be iffy trying to get a little greedy on that thing. So that's the thing, is a lot of people, you know, they'll get an entry, and instead of taking what the market gives them, they're so focused on hitting certain price targets and or, you know, whatever it may be, and they end up with a break even or a losing trade when they could have just took a winner based off of what the chart was telling you. And yeah, so that's something that I've learned You can try to be patient. You can try to let it hit your, your profit area, but if it clearly doesn't want to and it's clearly going to bounce, don't always just take break even because that's what your plan tells you to do. Like there has to, I mean, to me anyways, if that's your plan, if it's all or nothing type thing, then obviously go for it. That's part of your plan. But if you're kind of doing what I'm doing and you're playing a lot off of the feel and basically reading the price action, you got to take what the chart gives you. Like, as you can tell, I mean, this thing is fighting to not go any lower, and it is about half the move, and EMAs are catching up to it. So that's a pretty good sign to at least take some off the table there, right? You don't have to necessarily get out of the full trade, but you could take some off the table there just to take some profits, right? So then if it does go back to break even, which it's looking like it would here, got back through 50, if you end up taking it off, you still end up with a green trade instead of 0, right? What just happened, Thomas? It's just no shares available. So when I click on this, it's popping up saying that there's 8,000, but I guess there actually isn't. That's all. So when I went to short it, it rejected the order. It just says the contract is not available for short sale. So that's all. Unfortunate, because it would have been a winning trade. Looks like CTIC is actually working out. Trying to, anyways. That was a fighter. We would have been looking for this 280 area if we got our entry up there over 3. So unfortunately we didn't get up there, but is what it is. I was trying to be a little bit more patient with it, especially with how grindy it felt up to that point. Yeah, sorry, I just saw you guys said that in Discord. Yep, there it is. Back up through 50, 62 area. Again, I mean, I hate to sound like I know what I'm doing, but even just doing this for a little over a year now, you can read the price action. Sometimes you're going to be wrong, but I've been finding out a lot of the times I've been right. So you can start to feel just like you're trying to feel the tops. You're feeling that jiggle. It's no different on pullbacks. It's kind of the same thing. But a lot of people say buy the dips. Well, where's your if you're buying the dip and it starts to not work, there's no obvious like stop loss. I mean, unless you are doing what I'm doing, right? And you have like a max stop, but then you're not really using technicals. If you want to try something crazy, like, use below previous resistance, I mean, you could do something like that. But basically what I'm getting at is the probability of buying a pullback working is the percentage of it working is a lot less versus, finding a fast move and having it retrace, right? A stock is not going to go straight up. It can for a period of time, but it is not just going to continue straight up, right? You're going to get a pullback. And the faster that thing goes, the odds of it retracing are a lot higher. So that's what we're looking for. But when you get a pullback like this, it's very 50-50 whether that thing wants to go back up or if it wants to keep on going down. And hey, this isn't just stuff I'm spitting out of my ass. Feel free to do your own due diligence, but you'll see what I'm talking about. NKLA worked out again. I didn't even see the thing go again. Oh yeah, it did kind of pop up there. This is another one though. This isn't my trade. If this wanted to shoot up here towards 27, definitely would have been interested. Not quite though. I'm just not there yet. I'm just not at that level where I'm basically shorting pretty much any pop. I'm still looking for those specific setups, like LAC. I mean, look how extended LAC is from previous resistance, right? Look how like VWAP's still all the way down here. I mean, just look how straight up that looks. Now you're starting to get a little descending type triangle. It's, some people call it a bull flag, whatever you want. I like to see. I always say it's either a descending triangle or ascending triangle based off which one is finding the most taps, right? And look how many times this thing tapped the bottom. How many times does it tap the same place up top? It doesn't, right? So to me, if you're looking, you got a nice, I mean, I'm going to exclude that wick there just for a second. I mean, look at that, right? Descending triangle. Now, if you find something the other way where it's making higher lows over and over again, but it keeps tapping high of day, that's an ascending triangle. So some people were like, oh, it's a bull flag, it's a bull flag. Well, no, it's not. To me, this is a para into what looks to be a descending triangle. Now, will it work? I don't know, but the probabilities are a lot higher than it not working. So, yeah. All right, what's Brian looking at here? Let's see. NNOX. Just making sure, because I'm talking to you guys, explaining some things as I see them, so this is the advantage of having the ISW live room. Sometimes you might miss an alert, and especially when Brian's in, it's usually pretty good. But Brian likes to get in early. Just like, I mean, the scanners are designed for you to pull the chart up early. That's what they're for, so that you have time to look at the chart. Always keep that in the back of your mind too if you are using the scanners. AQB. That looks really slow. Look at the volume on that. Next to nothing. What's the daily look like here on NNOX? Is this a newer IPO? Yeah, this thing just IPO'd back in August. Not much to go off here on the daily. Looks like you found a few tops here around this 36.50 and then 43.27. I think it's got some movement, huh? Look at this. 20 bucks. What's the float on this? 31 mil. Makes sense. Yeah, look at CTIC here. This thing is just choppy. Now this, I mean, I don't even know what to call this. I mean, do you see a pattern here? I don't see any kind of a pattern here. It just looks like a bunch of chop to me. NNDM. I feel like, didn't we look at that? SSR, we didn't look at this. It's been that kind of week. I mean, the last 2 days, I feel like we missed a few. It's probably my own fault. It's pretty much going on absolutely no sleep. Yeah, Jensen, I see that. But to me, I mean, I saw you say that. I just didn't say that I saw you say that. But yeah, no, CTIC is not something I'm interested in. If it wants to go boom through 3, then we'd be interested again. But if it's just going to chop around, then no thanks. There goes LAC. So as of right now, we're wrong. But again, descending triangles, you base them off high of day. So you're probably sitting up here over 14. This is kind of a quick little move up towards high of day. Does it actually get there and go through? We shall see. Descending triangle should be very 1-to-1. So you should be looking for 1-to-1 risk to reward. And your risk is usually high of day. That's how you would determine a descending ascending triangle risk to reward. So try to get there. Not quite. Not yet anyways. You see this a lot, right? And that's why they fail. People want to think this is a bull flag. So once they see it break that pattern, that trend line, they get really interested. And then that's when you get that squeeze. Everyone's like, oh, this is going high of day. But then all it takes is that one big player that says, no, we're good. We're good at 14. We're gonna keep it here. Then everybody that bought up there looking for the break of 14, right? All the FOMO, they're also selling, just break even. Like they're happy that it got up there. happy for it to go break even. Man, nice little work there on Knox. That thing just flushed. Again, not my play, right? It did extend away from previous resistance. Not bad there, but it wasn't really that much. And on top of that, very linear move to me. Never really saw crazy extension. One day, I'll probably be trading these because I can scale into them a little bit better. But for now, just taking the A+ ones. No reason to get away from what's working. It all adds up. Might take a little bit longer, but hey, it actually might be taking a lot less time because we're not taking these and letting them get carried away, right? We're not taking a max loss over and over again. So is your bottle half full, half empty kind of thing? CTIC attempting high of day again there. Now, here's a perfect example. It's not the best example, but if we draw this line here, and we draw a line here, see what I'm saying? So now, instead of testing the bottom multiple times, we're testing the top multiple times. So now we have what looks to be an ascending triangle. And on top of that, the trend is going this way. So the odds of this actually continuing are probably pretty high. And this is what a lot of traders look for, right? As long as it stays within these parameters, they're fine with it. But what you usually end up seeing is when it fails to go high of day a bunch of times, and then it fails this line, that's when you get the dump. Which, let's sit here and watch it, see what it does. Which as well, LIC, coming back down. And this is when you usually see a pretty big dump too, when a key area breaks on top of a failed attempt. SPY is also coming back down, which I'm sure doesn't help either case. Brian, if you're still listening, kudos to whatever you did for those higher price stocks. It definitely worked. I wasn't paying attention to it yesterday, obviously, but today it looks really looks promising. Didn't David already say that IDT was on earnings? Yeah. Is it still going? Oh yeah, look at that thing. Big volume pop there. What's the daily look like on this? All-time highs maybe? Nope. It's got some room though. Look at that. It's got room all the way up here. 1050 and then again up to almost 12. If it wants to shoot through 1050, I'd still be interested, earnings or not. See? So we stayed right in on that trend line. So people are looking at right now. You got the 9 there, you got the trend line there. There's a lot of people that are saying this thing is going high of day. And it probably will, right? And then we got that big line there on the daily, if you guys remember, to enter the gap fill. So I'm sure a lot of people see this. They're trying to push this thing into the gap fill, and then people are like, "Oh, it's in a gap fill. Let's fill the gap." Like that's what the bulls are thinking right now. That's all they can think about. They see that on the daily. That's what they're trying to accomplish here. Yeah, the extended price range, that's pretty nice. I've been paying attention to it today. Here goes CTIC, trying high of day again. Looks like it wants it this time. Might have got there a little too high, right? Or a little too quick. Ideally, if you were a bull, there it goes, you would have wanted it to squeeze a little bit tighter before pushing. You don't want it to exert itself just to get there. It's like you're running, you see like a point and you want to get there as fast as you can, but instead of pacing yourself, you just go for it. And by the time you get there, you find out that you still have to go further. But now either did you jog there or did you sprint there? Because if you sprinted there, now you're exerted. But if you jog there, now you still can keep sprinting. Does that make sense? So if you get there, it's kind of a good analogy too, as far as what I'm looking for. If you want to sprint to a key level, the odds are you're going to hit that key level and then retrace because you're now exerted. But if you jog to that level, aka grind to that level, then you still have power to sprint through that level. As you can see, it literally is bouncing right off that gap fill line because it got there too fast. It didn't build up to it. I don't want to say I know what I'm doing because I don't think I do sometimes, but I'm just saying. I am telling you guys what I'm seeing in real time, so it's not like I'm looking at a chart in hindsight. Again, it's dedication, guys. If you want it hard enough, you just got to keep doing it. Keep studying. Keep watching the charts. Sit here, just watch the charts. You don't have to trade, but you can start to see these things happen over and over again. I might not be making a ton of money yet, but you got to put the time in. You can't just show up day one, month one, year one, and just expect for this to work. It's just not going to happen. You got to put the time in. You need the screen time. You need the dedication too. It's not just going to happen. You need to put the work in. See, LAC is actually flip-flopped on us if we want to take a look. Now we could very easily delete this one. I mean, you still keep that as a support resistance type line. But if we come over here, we can now draw 14 as our high. You could almost do this now. Right? So you can, and this is the thing with playing patterns, is a lot of times they work out because this is what the 90% is looking at. But at the same time, it's the 90% looking at it. So what's that mean? It usually means that it's probably 90% not going to work out. And again, it might temporarily work out because that's what the pattern's saying. But is it going to continue? That's always the question. That's always, these guys want to play breakouts. They want to play, these ascending triangles on already extended stocks. I mean, granted, this isn't really that extended at this point. It's moving kind of linear like a grinder. So the odds are this thing could go and continue. And the same thing with CTIC, right? It's not really that extended. So if you're playing these types of patterns, the odds are maybe like 60-40 instead of 50-50. But at the same time, there's a reason that they're 50-50 and 60-40. They're not the high probability plays. Oh yeah, I even forgot about BBBY. What did that do? Just kind of grinded. This kind of did the same thing, right? Look at how grindy this looks. And then it just consolidated sideways and then went high of day. It clearly found a support area here. It did not want to go any lower. It could be, a big buyer stepping in. It could be a bunch of different things. That's not our job to figure it out. But that's also why these are 50-50 plays, because you don't know who is going to step in and buy a ton of shares. You don't know who's going to step in and sell a ton of shares. So if you're always putting yourself in a 50-50 position, then you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, look here, CTIC, right? Everything pointed to this thing breaking out. Oh yeah, it broke out right to that key area on the daily, but now look at it, right? Some people are like, oh, this is my A+ setup. Well, it's still, at the end of the day, a very 50-50 setup. Like I said, it could even go to 60-40. When you see something so promising, you're in an uptrend, it's grinding, it's got a nice ascending triangle, it's got a gap fill coming up. The odds are it's better than not going, right? The odds are this thing's going to continue, but it's still it's still a 50-50 in my head, because it's just something that you can't predict. You can't predict that there's a huge seller just sitting here at 303 that says, I have way more money than you guys, and it's not going through 303 today. You don't know if you're going to run into that. You don't. But it very well could happen. Where am I spitting this from? Mark Douglas. Go Trading in the Zone. Go listen to it. Go read it. You'll understand what I'm getting at. He tells a story in that book about a guy that comes into an office, and he took a position, and he said, there is no way that the price is going below this point today. And the guy that he was talking to, I think, was a hedge fund manager. I don't remember exactly. And he was like, so you're telling me that you don't think that the price can go down below this point today? And the guy says, not a chance. That's why I took my position. There's not a chance it can go below this point today. So the guy, the hedge fund manager, I think it was a hedge fund manager, picks up the phone and calls his broker and says, I want enough shares to push the price down below this point today. And supposedly he did it, just to prove a point. It takes one person to make a stock do something. That's it. All it takes is that one guy to pick up the phone or place an order to make a stock do something. And that's what I was saying. You could have one guy here that looked at the daily and he said, everyone sees this thing. They all see the gap fill. They all see that gap fill sitting there at 303, and it goes all the way up to whatever. So he knows that the liquidity is going to be there to fill a bunch of his orders, or a bunch of his big order. But if his order is big enough, he's going to get whatever the people want to throw at him. And, oops, that's the daily. And then if the price comes back down, and he knows that he has enough liquidity to the point where he can't get eaten through, or he can just keep adding up into the gap fill like a little bit higher if he really wants to, it's not going to go through. It's that simple. Right? Right, David? It's kind of nice. Hey, Mom. Aren't you supposed to be working? Oh, that's right. Today's your day off. Where are you taking me to lunch? I heard on the radio on the way back from dropping the kids off that apparently the malls, I don't know if it was just Maryland. I don't know what it was, but apparently the malls are allowed to open their food courts at 50% capacity. I mean, the food places were already open, but the seating and stuff, I don't really know how they're going to regulate that. I guess just the amount of tables they put down. Good advice for life in general. What did I say that was good advice? I don't give good advice. This is the last one of my canned balls. All I have is the glass ones now. I actually need to put a couple in the fridge. Kind of feeling sushi or sarku. Sarku. Now that I'm talking about the mall, I want some sarku. Let's go get sarku. Why don't you just head on over? Don't they open at 11? Come get me. Pick me up. Go get some sarku. Take it back to your place. Giggity giggity. What are you looking at, Brian? Let's get rid of CTIC. I mean, obviously we're not going to play this. Obviously what I said was exactly what happened. Boring. Ooh, look at the extension here on JKS on the daily. This thing came from 20 bucks, 100% move from back here in early September. So in 1 month, 100% move. What is JKS? Jinko Solar. I wonder if they had some kind of crazy deal go through or something. Oh, I didn't even notice. Look at LAC. So this one actually did continue. But let's take a look at the daily. Was there anything crazy on the daily on this one? Oh, this one's at all-time highs. Yeah, so that one's a little different, right? We're at all-time highs. There's not a lot of resistance ahead. So if there's nothing holding it down, thing can go. And you're in a nice ascending triangle there. And that's my point. I mean, people that sit here and draw lines all day, it's like they could add this line drawn. Now they got that line drawn. It's like you start looking at all these lines. It's like, well, which line do I look at? Could add this one. Could add this one. Could add this one. Like you see those guys. They have 100 lines on their chart. Well, of course, one of them's going to be right. You have 100 EMAs on your chart. Of course, one of them's going to be right. And that's kind of that's what they sell, right? If you ever see those guys who sell stuff on, like, trying to sell their channel and stuff, they'll have 100 charts on their line or 100 lines on their line. And they're like, oh, it bounced right off of this line. It's like, well, yeah, you got 100 lines on your chart. Of course it's going to bounce off of one of them. But hey, if that's what you're into. That BBBY is just kind of grinding. Let's see what that see what your TWLO did. This one kind of looks like it's in a descending triangle as well. It's actually getting ready to complete. It's trying. It's trying, Brian. Oh, geez. Just came up with something new. Is that the Brian's book map chart? I knew it. I actually don't dislike book map. It's actually pretty cool. But Brian makes fun of it with this chart all the time. I don't even know if I can show it to you. Actually, yeah, let me see. Let's see if I can make it small enough. Pull up my OBS. It's kind of there. Let me get it off the... Can I get it off the montage? Yeah. It's about... there we go. So, book map real quick. It's interesting. But basically, the only thing that you would ever use book map for is this over here. And basically, and the lines on the chart, like you see these like heat map, it kind of looks like a heat map. Basically, it's showing you where all the liquidity is. It's taking your level 2 and visualizing it. That's all it does, which is pretty cool. I don't use level 2, but you can kind of see where, like if you're coming up to a key level, well, in level 2, you can't usually see that liquidity sitting there until it gets there. But on Bookmap, you can see it well in advance. So like if you're looking at a stock that's going straight up and then you see a huge level, like one of these thick red lines sitting at that key level, the odds are it's going to run into it and have trouble getting through. So that's kind of like the one advantage of something like that. But it's also really expensive just to see that stuff. So because I think it's like it's over $100 a month just for the software. Actually, it might be a little under 100, but then for the data, yeah, it's like I know it was at least like 135. It ended up being over, like it was like 250 a month, just for that. And again, I don't use a level 2, and a lot of times you can kind of feel that jiggle happening anyway, without paying that. So it's not needed. But again, it's just it's a tool. That's all it would be. It's a tool. It's not the holy grail. David. Geez, it's already 10:40. I think I'm gonna get out of here. What are we even watching? LAC. I haven't really seen anything else popping up. It looks like Brian and everybody else is kind of just managing the trades that they're in. I just didn't really see anything else that kind of happened like we wanted it to. I mean, IDT over here, we had that line up there at 1050. It got rejected at 10. Never really got too extended for our liking. NKLA, we had that double top possible area up here at 27. Never quite got there. There's a lot of trades that could have been, but never really extended too far. LAC, we did try to get into this. We would have got paid. We tried to get in on this move here. I mean, look at the difference between a move like this right here versus a move like this, right? This is grindy looking. This is fast looking, right? That's what we're looking for. We're looking for that fast, looking for that retrace. Get out most of our position, if not all of our position here, if we're happy with it, and then you could look for more on the way back down. Obviously, this one didn't give it to you. Could cut remainders at your average, cut it at high of day. It's completely up to you and your strategy. So this could have been a second trade. I mean, you can still see it in the montage that it got rejected. We did try to get in there, didn't get filled. So had the one trade on OMI. What did that end up doing? It continued, so we could have trailed that a little bit more. I was pretty happy with it though. I mean, look at where we got out though, right? We felt this happening. So it did pop up. It got all the way back up to what, 72? I think it said. Yeah. So it got back up there to 72. Wouldn't have taken us out. We had our order, well up here. Probably could have trailed this out a little bit more. Got all the I can't tell you how many times. I mean, look at the line we had drawn, right? Previous resistance came down, literally touched it to the T. And then it's, kind of consolidating sideways. So could have trailed that one out probably a little bit better, but I was pretty happy with it. We were also looking for other trades. You don't necessarily want to stay tied up in a trade too long. And that's why you could put a trail in and just forget about it, which is probably what we could have done. I even said it during the trade that I was looking to put a trail in, but put the order out there, was pretty happy with it. Kind of felt it bouncing off of that area that we got out, especially because VWAP was right there. So not going to complain about that trade at all. It looks pretty good. But I do think that I'm going to call it. I'm going to go ahead and get my video out. Again, Friday night live stream tonight, guys, 9 o'clock. Or why do I keep saying 9? Have I been doing 9 or 9:30? I'm having a blank. It's at 9, right? I've been doing it at 9. Now I'm going to have to go check. Actually, you know what? Let me just hit the you guys are going to hear some music for a second. So it's at 9. Okay, that's what I thought. All right, so 9 o'clock, be here, be square. We do like one little last dose of the stock market, just kind of talk. We can talk about strategy. We can talk about anything. We can just talk about life in general, all that good stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I appreciate y'all stopping by. If you do have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them on this video when it processes or the video I'm going to put out with the trade in it. And if I see you tonight, I'll see you then. If not, have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys Monday morning. Peace.